Hi everybody, welcome to this largely unscheduled stream. I really just kind of missed everybody, so I thought I'd just jump on live and have a bit of a chat, just check in with you, let me know let you know what I'm up to, and I'd love to hear from some of you as well. Although it did dawn on me as I scheduled this event that most of the people around the world I know are probably asleep right now, but that's okay. We're just gonna roll through it and do whatever it is that we're going to do today. So if you don't know me, my name's John Lacey, and it's great to have your company today. If you are joining me live, let me know in the chat where you're watching from. I'd love to hear from you. So today, like I said, it's been pretty much a last minute decision just to decide to go live and check in with you because I kind of miss talking to people online if I haven't done it in a little while. And obviously, we've just been through the Christmas period, holiday season. I'm not currently working for the next couple of weeks, and in some ways it's been wonderful, but in other ways I really want to have an opportunity to connect with more people outside of my sort of day-to-day life. So I thought that's what I would do today. So yeah, if you are watching, let me know in the chat. But again, this was such a last-minute thing. I'm not really expecting a lot of people out there. But I am kind of curious, like, if you do celebrate Christmas, did you get any exciting gifts for Christmas? I'm completely obsessed with Tina Turner, and obviously we lost her this year. She did pass away. And I don't know about you, but for me, a fair part of the grieving process of entertainers is a bit of grief via eBay purchases. And I must admit, the couple of things I'll show you that I got for Christmas didn't come from eBay, but essentially we've got this, which is Tina Turner, Queen of Rock and Roll, which is the brand new compilation. And again, my lights are probably obscuring that a little bit, but it's sort of a 3 CD set with all these singles from Tina's solo career. And there were some really interesting things in here that I was sort of unaware of. She's done covers of like things like Sometimes When We Touch, Help as well. And like it's literally everything from Whole Lotta Love, which was Tina's first solo single, all the way to Something Beautiful, the 2023 version, which is a remix of a song, Something Beautiful Remains, from her Wildest Dreams album. So that's really cool. But the other thing I got for Christmas, and again, I don't know how well you'll see this because of the glare of my lights. In fact, if I hold it a little bit further away, it's probably a little bit more obvious. This, which I haven't actually opened yet, is the Break Every Rule deluxe box set. And I actually had the 2 CD version of this, but the great thing about this is it's actually 3 CDs and 2 DVDs. So we've got the album itself, Break Every Rule, another CD for the B-sides, remixes, and live recordings, which includes a cover of Take Me to the River, which is really fun, and a lot of remixes as well. And CD 3 has Tina live in Rio 1988. And then it comes with 2 DVDs, which is Live in Rio again, but, obviously a video version of that. And the Camden Palace London performance and promo videos. So it includes a lot of the music clips from that particular album. So, like I said, I'm completely obsessed with Tina Turner. So I was very delighted to get that for Christmas. But I guess the other thing that's happened to me just after Christmas, I think I discovered this on Boxing Day, was that we had some storms around that time, and when I woke up on the day after Christmas, my NAS unit, my network attached storage, which has backups, like it's got 4 different hard drives and backups of years and years of work, just isn't working. And I've reached out to the company. It's no longer under warranty. In fact, the warranty expired like 2 months ago, which is interesting timing, shall we say. But again, I just wanted to have a look at that. And I'm hopeful the drives themselves are okay, but I don't really have any way of checking that right now. So that in itself is kind of irritating, if I'm being honest. Because often the first thing I will do when I get a CD like this is that I'll rip it to my computer and I will throw it on my phone and listen to it that way. But obviously I haven't been able to do that this time around. But, that's just the way things roll. So I'm probably going to need to get some hard drive enclosures to check out the contents of those drives, just to make sure they're okay, and then probably get another unit. I don't know if I'll get the same brand. I might try something different, but we'll just wait and see what happens in that particular space. So yes, All right, so this is an unscheduled live stream, a bit of a chat. I just wanted to come on here and talk about a few things. Um, the other thing, and I know this is incredibly boring, and this is the reason why I don't like to bring it up because it's boring and nuanced. And if it's not happening to you, why would you even care? But I have a lot of dietary constraints, and I don't talk about them because they are so boring and nuanced. And one of the things, especially at Christmas time, everybody's bringing out a lot of food. They're bringing out their signature dish. They want you to try it, and the truth is, there's just so much I can't eat. And I just like politely decline. And it's funny, sometimes people are like, sure, that makes total sense. And other times people just annoy me, and harass me to eat things. And I'm just like, no, I'm not doing that. The reason I guess I'm reflecting on that today is because I actually managed to create a bit of a noodle soup, dish for my lunch. And I know it probably doesn't represent a lot to you guys, but every time I can find a way of enjoying the flavors and combinations of things that I used to enjoy while sort of respecting the constraints. And again, I won't even get into what those are, but just know that they exist. So, I mean, here I've got a bit of a noodle soup, mung bean vermicelli noodles, shiitake mushrooms, some hams, chili, garlic, shallots, carrots and celery. And it's really nice when I can sort of figure out ways of enjoying the things that I used to enjoy today. So I was pretty chuffed with myself. So I thought I would share that with you today. So anyway, that's what's happening at the moment. I'm probably not going to hang around too much longer, but I did want to check in tomorrow on the video and live streaming show. And if you don't know about that one, maybe head over to my YouTube channel. And I don't know if I've got a banner for that one, but I could create one really, really quickly, which is youtube.com/@learn livestreaming. If you head over to that URL, we'll be talking. I have a weekly video and live streaming show about what it says on the tin, so the actual streaming of video and content creation, all those good things. But this week on the show, we're talking about actually creating video live streaming assets for your show. So these things could be backgrounds, they could be overlays, they could be lower thirds, they could be calls to action, it could be really any kind of combination of things. So we're going to explore those. We're going to talk about the tools that we use, and when I say we, I talk about me and my co-host of that particular show, Sam Proof. And I know this is usually where I lose people because their brains explode a little bit. But do you know what my favorite my favorite graphics tool is? It's going to hurt your head when I tell you, but it's Microsoft PowerPoint. And I know a lot of us have really negative connotations with Microsoft PowerPoint because we've all experienced death by PowerPoint. We've all been subject to all those terrible, terrible slides with 3,000 words on each slide and appalling fonts and stuff. But really, if you think about it less in terms of creating slides for slideshows and more as a video tool or a graphics tool even, there's a lot that you can do with it. So I want to sort of talk about the ways that I use it. And if you've seen any of my videos, I use it for my video thumbnails. I use it for backgrounds. I use it for overlays. There are some tips and tricks with working with that, and I'm going to unpack a lot of that with you tomorrow. So if you head over to that channel, youtube.com/@learn livestreaming. But of course, the other thing too is my co-host Sam Proof uses a much more conventional option in the form of Canva. So if you want to learn about those options, and I think really for me, it almost doesn't really matter what tool you use as long as it works for you and as long as it gives you the results that you're looking for. And I guess the other thing too is just, if you are, I guess a couple of things that I would want you to think about are, what are the file formats that you can actually export to? We want to see things like PNGs and GIFs, which both support transparency, which is really useful for overlays, and probably JPEGs as well. But the other thing, if you are working with overlays where you do want to have some transparency, you need to think about how you're exporting those in a format that supports transparency and also how your tool works with those. And I do have a bit of a trick to show you in terms of that, because If you just go to File, Save As, and save your slide as an image, it won't respect the transparency, but I do have a hack for you, which I'll get into tomorrow on the show. But it's always a good idea if you can build some visual consistency for your show, for your brand assets more generally. Think about things like logos and fonts and colors and how they all come together to complement what you're doing. So that can be really, really useful as well. So we're going to unpack all of that tomorrow. But if you do want to learn more about that in particular, if you head over to, and I suspect I probably have a overlay for this. I might not actually. It's funny. I literally decided I was going to do this like half an hour ago. So I'm not as prepared as I should be, but that's okay. But if you want to check out the Learn Live Streaming newsletter, you can go over to johnlacey.com/news and check that out. And that'll talk about some of the concepts that we show on the show. In fact, I don't know if I've got this in my collection here. I may do. Let me just have a look. I do. Okay, here we go. So again, you can see some of the thumbnails there. It is a LinkedIn newsletter. So if you are on LinkedIn, you can go over and check that out. And again, I might just hide that banner because it's a bit of duplication now. So if you go to johnlacey.com/news, it will redirect you to the Learn Live Streaming newsletter. And again, just to hark back to my earlier points, all of those images are created in Microsoft PowerPoint. And there are some really cool things that you can do with PowerPoint. You can remove backgrounds of images. You can add effects like shadows and glow. And you can combine sort of geometric shapes to have different layouts and things. It's a really, really cool option. And again, I know it's a bit of a counterintuitive one. It's not something people think of when they think of graphics tools. But again, I really, really love it. I love the ability of having, well, you know, one of the big things that I do is that I will actually right click on my slide. I'll duplicate that slide. And then I'll just try out themes and variations because you don't really know what's going to work until you try it out. And the worst thing you can do is try out a bunch of things and go, oh, actually, none of those work particularly well. It's all a bit of a disaster. And you want to kind of go back and look at those, you know, go back to what you did previously. So if I've duplicated it, at least I'm not changing the original. But, you know, to give you a bit of an insight, let's have a look at this thumbnail design. And obviously there you saw me experiment with a lot of variations and most of them didn't work, but I kind of want to encourage you to just be okay with that because you really won't know what's going to work until you try it out. And I guess some weeks I do have a sense of this is exactly what I want it to look like and these are the things I will do. But most of the time it's really just about trying things out and, you know, just seeing what might work and what might not work. And again, I have so many, like, in fact, I've got it, I think I've got it open in the background. Let me just have a really quick look. I've got a single PowerPoint file with 335 slides. And inside of that file are, you know, things like background images that I've created for live streams. I've got a lot of thumbnails and thumbnail variations. If you have a look at our regular show, which was coming up tomorrow, you'll see that we actually have sort of this tabbed interface like this. And this is just an image of a previous show. And we have broken up our segments into these 4 different sections. What those segments are varies from show to show. But the great thing about that is we can easily sort of flick through to different colors. And that way people know what we've already covered. They can see where we're headed. Potentially, if you're on YouTube, you could just sort of scan through that video and get to the place that you want to be. In a perfect world, if we were a little bit more organized, we'd actually go back in there and add those timestamps. We don't always get time to do that, but again, just to give you a sense of how that works, that's literally a bunch of shapes and some text in Microsoft PowerPoint. All I do is once I've got those ready to go, I sort of export 4 versions of that image. I bring them into StreamYard and they're literally just background images in our setup here. And I click a button and we go from plan to organize to assets to promote, whatever we want to do. So that can be really, really useful. The other thing, and again, it won't really work for today because I'm a single person. Normally, there are 2 people on the show when we do it, and we sort of split the screen up in such a way that I'll be on one side of the screen, and then when we talk about our websites and projects, we can sort of cover the other half of the screen. And that's an example of something where transparency comes into play. So just make sure that you can export with transparency because that's a really amazing way of actually doing those sorts of things. So that's all coming up on the video and live streaming show tomorrow. And again, just a reminder, if you are sort of interested in checking that out. Hello, Garen Belaney. Thank you so much for joining us from Micro Studio. I hope you had a lovely Christmas over in Canada. I hope you're doing well. Give my love to Juno. So great to have your company. Again, this is a completely sort of, I just decided half an hour ago that I wanted to come on live and I just wanted to talk. So, that's what we're doing today. It's a really impromptu thing. I haven't planned out much, but again, I was just talking about the video and live streaming show. And again, if you want to check that out tomorrow, just head over to youtube.com/@learnlivestreaming for more on that. We'll be talking about actually creating and using live stream assets in different graphics programs. Obviously, the other thing too is you can include video in your live streams. And again, you saw, the thumbnail design speed run that we had just a moment ago. But we also have sort of promotional videos that we include in our streams. Those are things you can create in any kind of video software. Again, I use a lot of Camtasia, which is a product from TechSmith, the company. And I like that because it's really designed for screen capture video, and I do a lot of tutorials, so that's my main interest in that. But again, we're really blessed these days to have some really amazing software, and I'm kind of blanking on the name of the other piece of software that I use, and I'm just trying to see how if I can casually look it up while I'm talking to you, and I probably can't do that very convincingly. CapCut is what I'm looking for. So that's from ByteDance, which is the company behind TikTok. And the great thing about that software is it's literally free. There are some premium upsells. You can pay for a subscription, but for the most part, you really don't need it. You can use it from your phone. You can use it from the desktop. You can even use it within the browser. So, it's sort of a cloud-based video editing experience. So, like I say, there are so many great tools out there. And again, my big thing is if you find one that works for you, learn it deeply, get good at using it. Don't be distracted too much by the FOMO because that's always a bit of a danger. It's so tempting to want to jump from platform to platform and software to software, but you're losing the benefits of learning any one piece of software really deeply. So I would probably encourage you not to dwell on that too much and just find something that works for you. You don't need to stick with it forever, but again, just resist the urge to jump from thing to thing all the time because that can be a bit of a problem. Okay, so that's coming up on the show. Again, if you want to check out anything I'm doing over on LinkedIn, especially, just go to johnlacey.com/LinkedIn. That will redirect you over there. I've got no less than 3 newsletters over on LinkedIn now. So if you want to check that out, if you're a little bit bored in some downtime during the holidays and you are interested in content creation and video and live streaming, I've definitely got stuff over there for you, including the Learn Live Streaming newsletter, which I mentioned earlier. And again, you can find that at johnlacey.com/news. But there's also the Learn OBS Studio newsletter, which OBS Studio, it's an amazing piece of software. It has a bit of a bad reputation for being hard to learn, which I don't think is true. I'm going to hide that for a second because I really want to emphasize that point. I don't think it's true at all. There is a learning curve, but there's a learning curve with all things in life. And we're going to be talking about that actually with Walter Strong III on the Huddle in sort of early January. We're going to be talking about OBS, and Sam and I, it's our favorite thing to talk about in the world. Even today, when I'm coming to you via StreamYard, there is a degree of OBS magic in the background here because I'm always stuck in front of a green screen and I have nothing particularly good looking behind me. So, there's always a degree of green screen chroma key magic here. but it also lets me bring in branding elements, calls to actions within my video frame, regardless of what software I'm using. So if you're on a Zoom call, if you're on Microsoft Teams, if you're on Skype, if that still exists, I really have no idea. If you're on Google Meets, if you're on StreamYard, Restream Studio, you can actually bring all these things into the frame really, really easily. I don't know that I've got much actually set up in this screen to show you. I'm kind of curious now. I'm just looking in the background here. Probably don't have anything that I can show you right now, but the great thing is I can have things just pop up onto the screen when I'm happy for them to be there. So that's something to certainly keep in mind. And even if you're not interested in going live, you can use it for local video recording. You can use it with the virtual camera, which is what I was alluding to a moment ago, which is just the ability to change how you show up inside of a video frame in any kind of software that uses a webcam. So those are things you can check out. If you head over to johnlacey.com/OBS news, I've got the articles which sort of talk about those things and step them out, but each article also has a video associated with it too. So if you do prefer to watch, that's certainly an option. Yeah, so that's basically where I am and what I've been doing. And I just really, like I said, I told nobody this was happening, so I didn't really expect a lot of people in the chat, but thank you, Garen, for swinging by. I really appreciate it. I don't really understand time zones, but I'm imagining it's probably quite late at night for you in Canada, or very early in the morning, one or the other. So that's certainly a thing. So, you know, I appreciate you showing up, but again, I just wanted to come on here, talk about a few things. Gonna probably go off and enjoy some Tina Turner, because I sort of mentioned that I got these for Christmas. This is the brand new one, the Queen of Rock and Roll, which is the compilation of all Tina's solo singles, from Whole Lotta Love to Something Beautiful, the 2023 version, and also Break Every Rule, which was one of her great albums. This is sort of a deluxe version with B-sides and live recordings and the promo videos and a couple of live concerts there as well. So I'm really enjoying the idea of just chilling out, looking at some of that stuff. I know I've got some newsletters to write as well, and I've got to prepare for tomorrow's show. So if you are interested, certainly swing by the YouTube channel, subscribe, hit that bell notification, ring the bell, as we say, and hopefully I'll have your company again tomorrow. But until then, have a great day. Enjoy the rest of the year. There's not too much more of it to go, a couple of days at most. But take care of yourselves. And again, I've really enjoyed this, so I might just pop on occasionally and just check in to see how people are going. But have a great day, great night, great week, whatever you're doing. Look after yourself, and I'll talk to you again soon.